I moved into my new house last week. After what I just found in the basement, I burned it down. The house was old but sturdy, and the creaks and groans of the wooden floorboards felt like the kind of thing you'd expect in a place with history. But something wasn't right. It started small, a cold draft even though the windows were sealed, a faint smell I couldn't quite place. At first I thought it was just the mustiness of an old house. That was until I found the basement. It was the only part of the house I hadn't explored. The door leading down to it was in the kitchen, hidden behind a set of shelves. I didn't think much of it at first, figuring it was just a storage space. But when I opened the door, a rush of cold air hit me and that strange smell intensified. The steps creaked under my weight as I descended. The air grew colder, and the scent, a mix of dampness and something metallic, like blood, grew stronger. My stomach twisted with unease, but curiosity pushed me forward. When I reached the bottom of the stairs, the basement was darker than I expected. I fumbled for the light switch, and when the dim bulb flickered to life, what I saw froze me in place. At first glance, it looked like a normal basement, old shelves lined with dusty jars, boxes stacked against the walls. But then I noticed the walls themselves, covered in what looked like hundreds of scratches. Deep jagged marks, like something had been clawing at the concrete for years. The floor was stained with dark, rusty streaks that I couldn't bring myself to inspect too closely. And then there was the smell. It wasn't just dampness or mildew. It was decay. I turned to leave, my heart pounding, when something caught my eye. In the far corner of the basement, partially hidden behind a stack of boxes, was an old wooden door. It was out of place, a different design from the rest of the house, and looked like it hadn't been opened in decades. I shouldn't have opened it. I should have turned around, climbed those stairs and never looked back. But some morbid curiosity, or maybe a deep, instinctual need to know what had happened in my new home, pushed me to turn the handle. The door creaked open with a groan that echoed through the basement. Behind it was a small room, barely big enough to stand in, with no windows and only one dim bulb hanging from the ceiling. The walls were lined with chains that ended in cuffs, rusted and stained. The floor was littered with old, cracked bones, some human, others I couldn't even identify. My breath caught in my throat as I took in the sight of it all. In the center of the room was an old stained mattress, and on it, something that had once been human. The figure, no, the corpse, was barely more than a skeleton. Its skin had shriveled and dried to the bone, its eye sockets hollow and staring at nothing. But what terrified me the most was the position it was in. Its wrists were chained to the walls, as if someone had left it there to rot. And its mouth. The jaw was open, stretched wide in a final, silent scream. The smell was overwhelming now. My head spun, and my vision blurred as the reality of what I was seeing set in. This wasn't just a basement, this was a tomb, a place where someone had been tortured and left to die. I stumbled back, nearly tripping over my own feet as I raced up the stairs, gasping for breath. My mind was racing, trying to make sense of what I had just seen. Who had done this? How had no one noticed? And why was this room, this horrifying hidden room, left untouched? By the time I reached the kitchen, I was in full panic mode. I could still feel the cold air from the basement clinging to my skin, the stench of death lingering in my nostrils. I had to get out, I had to leave. But I couldn't. Something in the back of my mind told me that if I left, I'd never be able to forget what I saw. That room would haunt me for the rest of my life. And worse, what if whoever had done this came back? What if they knew I had seen their secret? I needed to destroy it. I needed to make sure that no one, myself included, could ever find that room again. Without thinking, I grabbed the canister of gasoline I had stored in the garage for the lawnmower. My hands were shaking as I poured it all over the floor, up the stairs, and into the basement. I didn't even stop to look at the hidden room one last time. I just wanted it gone. Gone from the world, erased from existence. I lit a match and dropped it onto the floor. The fire spread quickly, the flames devouring everything in their path. I stood outside, watching as my new house, my dream home, went up in smoke. The smell of burning wood and gasoline filled the air, but even through the thick smoke, I could still catch that faint metallic scent of decay. As I watched the house burn, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had made the right decision.